Hey gang, it's a beautiful day here in Virginia. I thought I'd take this time to show you the overall picture of the greenhouse and what we're trying to do here with the aquaponics setup. So when we moved in here 16 years ago, this part of the yard had a large swimming pool, classic like 1979 44 by 22 foot big oval diving board, 11 foot deep end. But it was broken. The liner was broken, the pump, I don't know when it was last operated. It looked like it had crusted over. It was covered by that giant like trampoline looking cover to prevent kids falling in there and dying, but it wasn't very attractive, and obviously we had to do something about it. I argued that we should put a smaller pool inside the bigger pool, and my wife wanted to fill it all with earth and just make yard. So after years of neither of us winning, my wife discovered a thing called a wallapini, which is like a South American build it into the mountain kind of greenhouse, and the heat of the earth keeps things going year round. So we decided to put a greenhouse on top of this thing, which turned out to be awesome. You know, like, I really appreciate this idea. Once she brought it up, I was like, fantastic. I've always wanted a greenhouse. You can see the concrete of the old pool. It still has these, like, you know, the little built-in metal things that you hook the cover to. So, you know, I put the greenhouse up about 7 years ago already, which is a long time ago. And what we did inside, so before the greenhouse was up, you could picture the old deep end, and you know, the shallow end tapered on down to the deep end, that like slope. So what I did, I started to assemble this like retaining wall structure in the old deep end, and then as I dug the old deep end down further, I was able to kick the you know, the spoil up and over the wall and start to fill in around that retaining wall. So I'd like run out after work, put on like my wife's hospital old scrubs, and like jump down in this hole and fill a 5-gallon bucket with earth and a shovel, and then like jump out of the hole, throw it up over the wall, and then jump back in the hole. So it was like the I don't know, the music video for The Unforgiven, Metallica. But it was cool, and it was a lot of fun, and eventually the hole was made to about 12.5 feet deep, and it's a weird bottom. It's kind of a different, you know, it's not a very uniform shape along the bottom. But I made it go down to like a cone, and if I can find the old photos, I'll post them someday. But the cone is important because all of the, you know, the junk as it drifts downwards, hopefully will end up in the bottom of the cone where the filter kind of picks it up. So the idea, of course, is that we're going to grow fish in the fish pool, and then the concept behind aquaponics is that the nitrates of the pool and the fish waste are eventually filtered by plants, and you know, the fish waste obviously fuels the plants, and the plants filter the water, so it's clean again for the fish. So what's going to happen is, you know, instead of a closed loop where this fish waste water goes directly to the grow beds, up here in the shallow end we're going to have grow beds of plants, but they're going to grow hydroponically. So essentially, like, I'll use what's called the ebb and flow hydroponics setup, where you've got like tubs full of grow media. I'm going to use pea gravel. I'll let Riley in here. She likes to come into the greenhouse and sniff around for mice. So up here in the grow beds, ebb and flow hydroponics, I'll probably do some posts on that once I start to get set up. That is next. But you know, like I showed you before, the filters pick up the dirtiest of the stuff off the bottom, and then it runs along this white pipe when I empty each filter, and then it's going to empty into a drum here, basically that drum. And then I'll use that dirt and gunk to, well, the dirt and gunk goes outside on plants and compost, but the liquid waste is going to go into grow beds and fuel the plants. So that's the idea. You know, louvers are set on a thermostat. Everything's kind of set on these two thermostats. The top one is louvers, the bottom one's the fan, so you can kind of control that. The spines of the greenhouse, there's 13 of them, and I think they're like 14 feet high, something like that. And then another 4 feet down to the bottom of the pool. So that's up there pretty good. It was crazy to assemble those on top of the hole. I had dug the fish pool hole before I put the greenhouse up, So I had to put scaffolding across this thing, and then, you know, essentially put a ladder on top of like cinder blocks. It was quite an arrangement. I'll try to find photos of that too. But anyway, that's the scoop. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But this idea of aquaponics, but having two separate loops, the fish tank loop and then the hydroponic loop, and then the two, you know, once the water is clean in the hydroponics area, it'll go back to the fish tank, and it all starts again. See you later.